Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Rob. You guys, we have a new deck to the collection. This might be a very controversial deck, by the way. As you all know, we've talked about this. I've gotten so many comments on the channel on this one before, and it is AI. Yes, I'm talking about AI. And while many of you, most of you disagree with AI. And I have to say that I also disagree with AI. This deck has AI incorporated into it. And so that's what makes this a very controversial deck by one of my favorite artists, by the way. I'm a big fan of Daniel Martin Diaz. I have all of his decks. Well, I think I'm missing one, but I have 99% of his decks. And I love and adore his artwork. I use his decks on a very often basis, and I enjoy all of them, really. The artwork is splendid, the cardstock is good, the presentation is beautiful of these decks, and they're very meaningful. This particular deck, the Invisible Order Oracle by Daniel Martin Diaz, is one of those decks that I think is going to create a lot of controversy. By the way, this deck just came out about 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. We are in November 2025, and I just got my deck. As you can see, it is brand new, so we are going to do the unboxing together here on the channel. We're going to see what this deck is all about, but this is a heavy deck. This is a deck that is dark. This is a deck, unlike his past Oracle deck that also came out this year. This one is heavy and it's dark. And it really explores the darker hidden forces in society, you guys. From control to surveillance, manipulation of our tech-driven world. And I think this is what he wanted to bring into the mix with this deck. And so what makes this deck even more fascinating is that Diaz actually incorporated AI into the creation process. And so once again, you guys, we'll be talking a little bit about AI. We'll be talking about how this deck came about, with the creation of AI, and why he chose to use AI for this deck, because he says that he created this deck with AI because it has to do with AI and how much AI is part of our lives. And so therefore I find it even more interesting that he actually came up with this topic and that he's open to talk about it. So if you're open to talk about it, join me. It comes in this hard box, you guys. Presentation is always beautiful for Daniel Martin Diaz's decks. Really, I'm like I said before many times, a big fan. Here's the booklet that comes with the deck, and it has that row here on the front and on the back. His booklets are usually sort of small. They go right into the meanings of the cards. And for example, if you want to read the number 2 card, which is confusion, and the number 3 card, which is expect us, please pause your device and read that. For example, confusion number 2 is disorder, disintegration, and fracture. And 3 is expect us, collective message intervention. And then, of course, pause your device and read that. You guys, he actually used AI into the creation process. He trained AI on his own artistic style and then refined very detailed by hand, giving it that signature, tactile, earthy feel that Daniel's decks always have. So he's been open about it, which is something that I really like. He's telling us exactly what he did, and it's up to us to explore it or not explore it. And I choose to explore this. This is the inside of the box. And by the way, you guys, I don't know if you saw my last video for Daniel's deck that I did on the 1909, the Rider-Waite, but I ordered this deck and then I received the Myth Oracle by mistake. And so they went ahead and sent me this one at no cost. They paid for the shipping, they paid, and they also sent me a little gift. So they rectify the problem. And so I'm very happy about that. I know that also Martin has been not feeling well. And so my best wishes go out to him. I hope that he feels better. I think that he wasn't creating art for a little while, but now I think he's starting. I think he had a car accident, if I'm not mistaken, but I hope that everything is better and that he's feeling better so he can keep creating these beautiful decks. And so this is what comes inside of the box, you guys. And so inside of the box, you guys, you get another tuck box, which we saw also for the Myth Oracle, right? So it's starting to look like the presentations are really the same. And as many of you know, I do not open the decks here on the top from the seal because I don't like to break the seal. So what I do is I open my decks here from the bottom. And it always works well for me, you guys. And, you know, in the last video that we did, he also has this little saying here when you open the bottom of the box, which says, trust the process. And like my last video, I thought, how interesting that he puts that here, or that he wrote this here, or that this is here printed, because usually we should open the deck from here, right? But I have a feeling he knows, or maybe he's been watching my videos, that some of us don't like to break the seal. So, and he, I think, sort of caught on that, you know, some of us open the box here from the bottom. So, and so here are the cards, you guys. This comes with that linen that we're all familiar with. If you have a Daniel Martin Lewis deck, you will know that this comes in a linen paper, and most of his decks are like this. At least the decks that I have for him are exactly the same paper. It does seem like it's a little bit thinner these days. I don't know, maybe it's me, but it does seem like it's a little bit thinner. It doesn't matter. It's a really wonderful paper, or cardstock, I should say, and they slide really well and they shuffle really well. In terms of size, they are sort of oracle size. They are not tarot or your normal tarot size card. They're a little bit more oracle. And this is the card this is that introduction card. The back of the card looks like this. They are completely reversible. Everything is well coordinated with Martin's decks. And so everything from the box to the talk box, to the back of the card, everything is just well coordinated. He has an amazing ability to do presentation, as well as the amazing artwork that he does. And so let's look at this. Let's take a journey together through the Invisible Order Oracle. And this is time travel. And you guys, he used AI as a starting point. So, you know, just so you know, and, you know, the fact that the word AI is coming up, and the fact that the AI subject is coming up in this particular video, which I think it's really, really interesting. You know, I will tell you what I found online. I will tell you what it is. I will tell you exactly what the information that is on his website. So this is confusion. And it looks very much like a tower card, right? This is Expect Us. And of course, they're all in that earth tone color. It has those blacks and those grays, you know, very much in order with his style of artwork. He used AI as a starting point, you guys. Then he spent hours hand refining faces and hands, adding symbols, removing mismatches, layering mystical details, etc. So it's really his work, but he did incorporate AI in there, you guys. This is Watching Them. This is Arrival. And as you can see, this is one of those decks that really reflects on our fears and our modern world and what we're going through. I mean, that this card is really coming up right now is really interesting, because I've had so many comments and so many people messaging me and talking about UFOs, that this card is, one can say, part of the modern world that we're living in, right? This is Enchantment. This is Collective. And this deck is part of Martin's long-running exploration of the relationship between art and technology, you guys. This is collective. And the rise of AI and digital control systems. This is what this deck was based on our modern world, 2025, what's going on in today's world. And that's one of the other reasons why I found this so interesting. This is enlightenment. This is portal. And it also touches on the dystopian shifts happening in today's society, you guys. This is magnetism. This is reckoning, and it touches on a desire to challenge traditional divination tools. This is source. And, you know, this deck is a desire to challenge traditional divination tools by confronting uncomfortable truths, you guys. And I really appreciate that from Daniel, that he actually went there, you know, that he didn't really, he followed his art, he followed his feelings, and he did what he did because he thought it was what inspired him. And so this is affectory. This is foreboding. This is omen. And you guys, this is not meant to be a comfortable deck. This is a disruptor, as he calls it. This is infernal. This is a disruptor for divination tools, you guys. A deck that I personally, or a type of deck that I personally like. This is infernal. Confluence. This is a way to bring hidden forces into the light, you guys. This is a way to talk about those issues that a lot of the times we don't want to face, that we don't want to talk about. This is disruptor. This is post-human. What an amazing picture that is. I love that. I am so attracted to something like this. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is gatekeepers. And by the way, you guys, this is what he calls digital sorcery. This is a psychotronics. This is stop them. How interesting. This is a very, very interesting deck. And, you know, in his writings, he says, you know, I know that this is a deck that is not going to appeal to everybody. This is mind control. The deck consists of 48 cards. I don't think I mentioned that. This is mind control. This is surveillance. This is such an interesting card because I don't know about you guys, but I do feel that surveillance is always there. I do feel that my privacy is sort of gone. I do feel a lot of the times that we are being, I don't want to sound paranoid, but I do feel like we're being watched and controlled a lot. Here's disclosure. And once again, there's an alien there. Very, very interesting. This is hypnosis. This is conjure. Shapeshifter is this one, you guys. This is remote viewer. And you guys, it is true that this deck is giving me sort of a colder feeling. It is true that this deck is giving me sort of a more digital sort of a feeling. And so I really do appreciate Daniel's honesty for saying that this is a deck that is not going to resonate with everybody. This is sabotage, but at the same time, Daniel has been creating art for the last 30 years. And so the fact that he has created this deck with AI, you know, it could bother a lot of us, or you could maybe look beyond it. I find this this one is moral panic. I find this a very interesting topic, and not only the AI thing, but the whole imaging and the whole theme of the deck. This is entropy. This is obelisk. This is witch hunt. And if we want to know what witch hunt means, here is that reading, you guys. And of course, you can pause your device and read that. But this is how it reads, you guys. Witch hunt, scapegoat, hysteria, accusation. This card appears when fear has eclipsed reason. A target is chosen, often irrationality, and the masses follow suit. Not because of truth, but because accusation grants power. You may be part of the hunt, or maybe you are the target of the witch hunt, isolated by those who need someone to blame. And it goes on, you guys, and you can pause your device again and read that. And you can read this in reverse, by the way. Here's the reverse meaning. You may be projecting inner guilt into others. Reflect before you're accused. Seek clarity, not control. So interesting. This is introspection. This sort of gives me the feeling of the Hermit card a little bit. This is system. Yeah, see, we're all part of this system, right? It looks like we're sort of like slaves to it, right? We're like bees in a beehive. We all have a role. We are part of that system that doesn't allow us to break free, and it doesn't matter where you live or what that system is. There's always a system. This is anonymous. This is anxiety. Wow. I mean, who does not live with anxiety these days? I mean, you guys, anxiety is like, anxiety is like that lion sometimes that I have to tame inside. It's like that strength card, you guys. I have to tame it. Otherwise, it just takes me over. This anxiety, that fear that I feel a lot of the times in my life, almost on an everyday basis. And I have to tame it. Time and time again, I need to tame this fear. And so this is possession. We're so possessed with what we need and what we have and those material things. I can only imagine this is what this card means. And of course, you can read the book, or you can let your own intuition guide you through this deck as you're doing a reading. This is phenomenon. This is Watchtower. This is that card that, we feel like we all have on top of us, on top of the mountain, that is just always watching, right? It's sort of like the Lord of the Rings, sort of a theme there. This is AI. I am so happy that he has this card in here, because we happen to be talking about AI, and we happen to be talking about what is happening today to us as a society in 2025. And this is that there is the AI, that evil force, as it looks like here. And, we'll have to see how the years go, and we'll have to see what happens. But AI is very much present in our everyday life these days. Propaganda. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like AI just happened in the last 2 years. It's all happening so fast that, it's just one of those things that I cannot really explain. Ominous. An interesting card too. And secret is the last card on this deck, you guys. And of course, we want to know how this deck shuffles, right? And this cardstock, I'm so familiar with this cardstock. I know exactly how this shuffles. And it is absolutely wonderful. They have weight, they slide. When you do a spread with this deck, look at this, you guys, it just spreads beautiful. And that's one of the wonderful things about this cardstock, that it's so easy to use, it's so friendly. But you do have to be a little bit careful, because at the beginning of my tarot journey, and many of you know this, I was iffy about this cardstock because it slides. And so if I wasn't used to it, and so it kept sliding from my fingers and it kept sliding from my hand, and I was annoyed by it. But now I'm not. Now I kind of, I'm used to it now. It is not my favorite cardstock, but it's okay. And I've gotten used to it, you guys. And so you can't have everything in this life. This shuffles really well, it spreads really well, but there's other things that don't happen so easy with this deck. And so, you guys, this is the Invisible Order by Daniel Martin Diaz. What a great topic this has been. Thank you so much for sharing with me. Please write in the comments. Let me know what you think. I know that AI is a big topic these days, and especially when it comes to tarot and our tarot community, many of us are against it. Some of us are accepting of it. I have mixed feelings. I rather that my decks are not AI. But like Daniel Martin, I think this is a very important subject and we cannot ignore it and we cannot dismiss it. And it affects us in every day, not only in our tarot community, but it also affects us in our everyday life, you guys. I mean, I can't tell you how many messages I get these days. I don't even think they're written by real people anymore. I think this is just, AI writing all these messages, and I'm starting to recognize them because this whole AI thing, it's come at me so fast, and I'm not the youngest, and so I've just been taken by it, and so now I am getting used to it, and now I'm starting to recognize when a message has been written by AI or when a message has been written by a real person. My brain is starting to assimilate this. So you guys, thank you so much for watching, and share your comments. I love to hear from you. This is a very interesting subject. This is a super interesting deck. And with that being said, you guys, thank you for watching. And as I always say, subscribe to the channel if you like. Let me know what you think. And until the next time.